Following a string of successes with horror and action films like Halloween in 1978, The Fog in 1980, and Escape from New York in 1981, John Carpenter turned his attention to a project that would become a landmark in the science fiction horror genre, The Thing, in 1982. Carpenter's vision for The Thing was distinct from its predecessor, the 1951 film The Thing from Another World. While the original film, directed by Christian Nyby, though often attributed to Howard Hawks, was a product of its time, Carpenter aimed for a more faithful adaptation of John W. Campbell's 1938 novella, Who Goes There? The key differences were the creature would have a completely different appearance, paranoia, and a heightened sense of distrust, and its resemblance to the source material. The 1951 film significantly altered the nature of The Thing. It portrayed the alien as a humanoid plant-based creature, a sort of super carrot, as Carpenter himself described it. More importantly, the 1951 film downplayed the paranoia and suspense elements inherent in Campbell's story. Carpenter's The Thing, on the other hand, embraced the shape-shifting horror of the original story. The creature's ability to perfectly imitate any living organism became central to the plot, creating an atmosphere of intense paranoia and distrust among the isolated Antarctic research team. Carpenter's commitment to Campbell's vision extended beyond the creature's abilities. He also sought to capture the psychological impact of facing an enemy that could be anyone. The film's bleak and isolated setting, combined with Ennio Morricone's haunting score, amplified the sense of dread and helplessness. The practical effects, masterfully crafted by Rob Bottin, were groundbreaking for their time and contributed significantly to the film's visceral horror. While The Thing was initially met with mixed reviews and box office disappointment, it has since gained recognition as a masterpiece of the horror genre and is regarded by many as the best horror film of all time. Its influence can be seen in countless films and television shows that explore themes of paranoia, isolation, and body horror. Carpenter's dedication to faithfully adapting Who Goes There resulted in a film that remains terrifying and thought-provoking decades after its release. Welcome to Popped. I'm Daniel, and this is our new host, Eric. Hi, Eric.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you, and wanted to let the people watching, listening know that we're back with new content. We've got a good one in store for you tonight. John Carpenter's 1982 sci-fi classic, horror sci-fi classic, The Thing. Joining us today is our guest, Richard Rigoli. Hey, Richard.
Hi, nice to see everyone. Well, or for everyone to see me. Good to be here. Nice to be back on the show.
It's been a while. Apparently, the only show that you were on before was the Ghostbusters Sound Table. I thought you had been on another show. Lo and behold, yeah. So it's good to have you on.
That's just because we hang out online sometimes.
That's true. Yeah, that might be it. So, Richard, what have you been doing since you were on last? I know that back then you and your wife Suzanne had been working on a book, and I don't know where that's at now, but why don't you let us know?
We were working on a book, and now we've got 5 books in the can and a 6th one that's in the works for the full series. And when they're all done, then they'll be released, and we'll go wide and start telling everybody and singing, hey, come get this, and basically the quest for money at that point. But so right now, if you go look for it, you're just gonna find a site saying, hey, we're writing books. It's like and then let's see what else is going on. Just working a job. Other than that, and helping my friend out here on his podcast, which everybody should be following.
Well, there you go. Hey, yeah, everybody should be following us. See, even our guests say so. So just hit that follow button down there. hit like, hit subscribe, all the things that everybody asks you to do when you start watching these videos. I know it's boring. I know it gets old, but we got to say it. So anyway, enough of that. Enough about me. Let's talk about me. I mean, let's talk about Eric. Let's talk about you. You're
let's
you
talk about.
you joined us on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. Let everybody know how they can find you there.
Well, I have a TikTok account. Just started that up. It's Eric underscore popped kernel 5. I created that specifically for this podcast so that I can help learn how to help on this program. Also have an Instagram account, also Eric underscore popped kernel. That's over on Instagram. Haven't really learned to use that very much yet, but I am in the process of learning. So we will get better at this as we go.
Our aging Gen X brains are trying to do this social media stuff. It's hilarious. We tried to do a TikTok live the other day and realized we couldn't because we didn't have enough time logged with our own lives to be able to do it together. So apparently we have to do something like 30 minutes of live time. And then you have to have gone on 3 consecutive days in a row before you can even unlock this feature. So we're sitting here trying to figure out, why can't we do this? Why? Yeah. So bear with us, folks. We will eventually get to do these little quick TikTok videos, and you'll love them. They'll be the greatest TikTok videos anybody's ever seen or heard of. And
that's very presidential of you to say.
I thank you. We're also going to work on
Best
some
TikTok. Nobody's TikTok.
Nobody's ever good? TikTok like this before. Now we're actually going to work on greatest Patreon content too. One of my big goals right now is to figure out what happened with Patreon. So we have some Patreon subscribers. One of them is on the show right now. But apparently none of them are getting the Patreon gifts. Actually, 2 of them, because Eric, you are a Patreon subscriber as well, right?
Yes.
That's right. So, but none of the gifts that Patreon says they send out every quarter or whatever that people have been on have been being sent out. So I'm going to have to do some delving and try to figure out what's going on there because that's a little disappointing. But we'll be doing new content soon, new episodes specifically for Patreon. So keep your eyes peeled for those. That said, The Thing. All right. So The Thing is a remake, kind of. There was an original from the 50s, and it was more of a Frankenstein type monster alien. It was nothing like this one. This film, I think Carpenter wanted to stay true to the original short story, which was called Who Goes There? It was a 1938 John W. Campbell novella. And I kind of liked that he went to this format because I felt like this was a much more compelling story than the basically the monster film. Did you guys see the original film from the 50s? And if so, what'd you think of it?
I have seen the original film. I got it on DVD. I even have the sequel to this film, which, not confusingly at all, is also called The Thing. And and for a while there, every year I would do a Thing marathon of watching all 3 of those movies and just to have fun with it, just to compare and, And I understand this is also a tradition that they do in the Arctic stations, right before their last their last vehicle leaves for the season, and they're stuck there for 6 months.
It's like watching disaster movies on an airplane.
Oh yeah, but that's fun too.
So wait, the one that came out in 2011, that was actually a prequel, though, wasn't it?
That's yes, it was a prequel sequel.
Yeah, the Norwegian camp, which is interesting because, when they show the Norwegian camp at the beginning of the film, The Thing, the 1982 version, that's actually the camp that they were staying in and the one that they shot everything in. But they blew it up and then they filmed it as the Norwegian camp and put it at the beginning of the film. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
I just think that's a cool little fact. Anyway, Rick, did you see
Oh,
the original 50s thing? And if so, what'd you think of it?
I did not know it was a remake originally. Um, and when I found out, I tried to find it, and it was not successful looking for it because I like nostalgia. But
mhm.
I did see the trailer for it, and yeah, it looks very, very campy in comparison. But just uh, like like Plan 9 from Antarctica. But I don't have anything negative to really say about it. They did what they could, what they had at the time, I guess. But I really, I would like to see it just to, to compare, all the differences between the one that I knew and grew up with and the one that, that was the original inspiration for it. But,
My God, I'm
but no, I
trying to
haven't
think of what
seen
a
the,
Plan 9 thing would be like with Vampira coming out, you know, Tor Johnson. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
it looked
wall,
like Tor Johnson. That's what it
yeah.
looked like.
The
Yeah,
wall
wait.
is shaking as the doors are opening and closing.
So getting to the 1982 film, because obviously, Rick hasn't seen the original. You and I've seen the original, but I just don't think the films compare. The 82 version is by far superior. But I'm also a huge John Carpenter fan, so that kind of helps because there's something about John Carpenter and the scores of his films and the mood and tone he sets. It's creep factor, you know.
Mhm.
Um, what I think also is amazing about this, and it has been the case with so many shows that we've reviewed on our show, is that this was a mediocre box office, and this film was saved by video, like many, like I
Mhm.
said, we've reviewed before. I think the budget was 10 million, which is I think adjusting for inflation is about 30 some million now, um, and they made 15 million. So it's I think they got 5 million over what they spent on the budget, which is not good. Um, but yeah, it's done well since then, and there are fan clubs, there are societies that online that sit and get together and talk about the thing. I think I'm in at least one of them. Um, but for
Doing something
me,
like that
like,
now.
well, there you go. Uh, like I was saying with John Carpenter, you got creep factor, movies like Halloween and whatnot, where he just creates this tension with like just camera shots of empty places. What stands out to you, Rick, from this film that, that something like creep factor? What is it about this film that kind of really stood out to you?
Well, what John Carpenter always does, and just about every movie I've seen from him, is he finds a way, either with his camera angles or just the wide shots and the desolation or whatever the movie's subject matter about. He puts you in the situation, like you're there in it,
Mm-hmm.
stuck there in it. Or in the case of the thing, it's like the feeling of isolation where there's nobody else around, nobody's coming. We can't go away from the base. It's like because there's literally nothing out there. You'll just die of exposure. And it's like, but you really kind of feel that more and more as the movie goes on. You're in there. It's like I felt the same way when I was seeing The Fog. Felt the same, and where it's just you can't see 4 feet away from you. It's like he put that environment in there, and it's like he really, really knows how to plant you in the situation.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. And not just the isolation, but like the paranoia. Um, he makes you feel that paranoia, and like you inevitably identify with people in his films and kind of see, maybe align yourself with them, and you start to feel their paranoia with them. And I thought he was did that masterfully in this film. Eric, what stood out to you in that regard from this film?
I was still very young when this film came out. Um, I I actually this was one of the first films that my parents rented from for home video to just watch movies at home. I have no idea if they even knew what this film was because they may have just rented it blindly. And I remember watching this. I was probably like 13, maybe 14 years old, and it honestly gave me nightmares. It was one of the first films I remember waking up in a cold sweat after watching it because I saw the beast in my head coming at me in the dark after this movie was over.
Yeah.
Um, the practical effects always hit me like very, very viscerally. Um, just just some of those visuals were I'd never seen anything like them before.
Are you talking about the
And
special effects that Rob Bottin
mhm.
did with the creatures?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
those were
oh yeah, those were
unnerving.
amazing.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
being
and it
unnerved by this
was
film too at that age.
yeah. I mean, it was body horror before I even knew what body horror was. I mean the 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 way that the thing, while it occupies a human body, isn't limited by the limitations of that human form. Like it opens up mouths and jaws wherever it thinks it needs them. It grows new limbs wherever it needs them to just, and it's freaky, for lack of a better term. It's just
Right.
downright freaky and unsettling.
Yeah. So along with that, you have the location, which is kind of going into what Rick was talking about with the isolation. You have these guys, and it's an all male cast. They're
Mhm.
stuck in this place, this little camp. They all know each other fairly well, and you can tell who likes each other, who kind of doesn't like each other pretty quickly. Um, and as the tension ramps up, you see the division start to crack between these guys, and it just I think it's so cool that they were able to take this location, put these guys in it, and isolate them from any possible help. That just makes it so
Mhm.
much more intense, right? I mean, they couldn't use the radio. The radio wasn't working. You couldn't take the helicopter. They just sabotaged that. They sabotaged the snowcat. Um, they were truly screwed. you know.
Yeah, that line at the beginning of the movie where T.K. Carter's character Nails, I think that's his name,
Knowles,
Nails,
Knowles.
Knowles, yeah, is complaining that yeah he hasn't been able to raise anybody on the radio for the past 2 weeks, and yeah, so they can't even call for help, so they are
Certainly not the
completely
Norwegians.
isolated. Yeah, they are completely and utterly isolated and alone. There's no help coming for them.
Yeah. I found that I guess one of the things with John Carpenter that I like is he tends to use metaphor a lot. And with this one, I think that it was especially intense because at the time you had the AIDS epidemic going on, and it was a blood disease, right? And they didn't understand AIDS quite that well at this point, but it's an interesting backdrop to what's going on here. You've got a bloodborne, not disease, but an alien that attacks you by going through your blood. And it's sort of this metaphor for what will eventually destroy or kill us all, right? It's either disease, a creature, or maybe even the distrust. Did you guys find any particular metaphor in the film that sort of stuck with you, Eric?
I had always heard that this was something akin to like the Cold War, where it was you didn't know who was your friend, you didn't know who was one of yours or one of them. Although I might be mixing that metaphor up with the invasion of the body snatchers metaphors,
I mean, it's
but
it's
similar,
it's very similar to Invasion of the Body Snatchers if you think
yeah,
about it.
Still fits.
Yeah.
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 Where you just, yeah, it's just, yeah, you don't know who you are. You don't know who's the thing. And I think there's an interesting discussion that some people have raised that I've heard over the years of if you are the thing, do you even know you're the thing during the film? Which
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure they do.
I
Not
think,
until it takes over.
yeah, that's true because I think that there was one guy who I can't remember his name real quick here. He was uh, Hallahan,
Oh,
Norris, the geologist. There's a point where he doesn't want to take charge of the group. He could, saying, somebody can take over for me. And that was Donald Moffat, Gary, the station commander. It's after they confront the other guy with the shotgun. And he's like, maybe you
Hmm.
guys would be comfortable, somebody else in charge. And they're like, well, what about, Norris? And he's like, I don't think I could do that. And at that point, you can see in his face and in his understanding that you know, he's probably got the creature in him. And then it gets confirmed later. But that was my suspicion when he did that. I'm like, wait, why doesn't he want to, you know, why wouldn't the creature want to be in charge at that point? Maybe because it's easier to hide if you're not. I don't know. But it's a good
I would,
question, isn't it? It's a good question. Do you actually know if you're the thing?
well, it's like in the case of Dr. Blair, Wilford Brimley, it's like he started wiping out their means of leaving.
mhm.
It's like, the official thing is he went mad, but I think he was intentionally making sure that he was isolating it. It's like making sure that it couldn't get away because
Right.
I think he suspected once he's the one who actually started to understand how the thing worked. He was the one who saw and had the freaking samples and understood how the thing worked, how it jumped, and how it could change and infect. That was the key thing for him. He
Right.
realized it could infect. And once he realized that, all of them were compromised. And so the helicopter had to go. That's like any way of communicating or calling for help had to go. It's like, yep, yep.
Yeah. And
So
But
essentially, he was saying that they all had to. They were dead right then and there for the whole base.
they all had to die to save humanity.
Yeah.
yeah, it also makes you question when exactly he got infected because, you know, he's the one who dug himself that tunnel and started building a spaceship, right?
Well,
So
that was after they'd locked him in the room.
yeah, but
Hmm.
what did something get him in the room, or was he already infected before he got in the room?
No, I think he was already infected and then realized it, and that's why he took out
So
the helicopter.
so that again would lend credence to you may not know you're the creature when you're infected at first, but after you turn, you do. So I guess maybe that's the answer to the question.
I've always assumed that he was the thing when they were having the conversation. He was talking about, no, I want to come back inside. I promise I'm not going to hurt anybody. That's the thing speaking, not
I'm better now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he'd already dug the tunnel at that point.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He had the noose hanging next to him as well. So I think at that point his
I
human
think,
self was considering
yeah, he was going to kill himself, and then the thing
mhm.
stopped him.
Yeah,
My metaphor was McCarthyism.
Oh,
nice.
hey, there you go. Sorry, I thought we got that. We just discussed Eric so long that I just passed you over, man. I
Sorry.
apologize.
Sorry, kind of
No,
took over the conversation there.
what that means is that you had a really good answer and we just got stuck on it. So anyway,
Hmm.
McCarthyism is you want to
Yeah,
elaborate on that?
it's the paranoia. You don't know
Hmm.
who's really red. Could be anybody. It's like who it could be your aunt, it could be your sister. You don't know who's been indoctrinated. It's like
Those communist pinko bastards from Mars.
exactly.
You
It's
know,
like they're
Mars
not
is the
really
red
people.
planet.
They're not really people.
Better dead than red.
Exactly.
Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, that's
It's too
cool.
late.
Yeah, so not exactly a remake, really, because if you saw that other film, this isn't anything like it. But it brings up something. Let's talk about our top 5 remakes. We don't have to give a long description of each film or anything. Just kind of like tell us what you think your top 5 remakes are. I'll give you the correct list, and then you guys can give me yours. Um, sorry, I just had to do that because Wes Chatham does
Hmm.
that on his podcast, and I love Wes Chatham. So there's your nod, Wes Chatham. I'm going to start off with The Departed, 2006, DiCaprio, Nicholson,
Ooh.
Damon. Mark
Okay.
Wahlberg. Martin Scorsese did a great job on this. I did not see the original, but I know it's a remake, so this gets on my list at 5. Uh, King Kong, 1976. Jessica Lange, Jeff Bridges, Charles Grodin. Um, it's maybe not. It's I don't think it's better than the original 1933, but it was a decent take on the classic, so that's on my list. Number 3, speaking of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978, Donald Sutherland, Brooke Adams, Jeff Goldblum, Leonard Nimoy, among others, is simply magnificent story. The pacing, the gotcha moments. I enjoyed this actually more than the original. I'll never forget Donald Sutherland at the end. Just freaking awesome ending. Number 2 for me would be Dracula. In this case, 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves, Anthony Hopkins. Francis Ford Coppola knocked it out of the park with this one. Is it better than the original? That's debatable, but I think it was also a strong take on Dracula that I really enjoyed. I'll never forget the shadow of Dracula having a mind of its own. I thought that was just probably one of the coolest things ever. And number 1, to no one's surprise, is going to be The Thing. It's just better than the original. It's more true to the short story. And I think this could easily be considered John Carpenter's opus. So there's my top 5. That's a correct top 5. Let's hear some other top 5s. Rick, why don't you go ahead?
Fine. Okay. Just so most people consider The Thing the number 1 remake of any freaking movie anyway. But anyway, my top 5.
Oh, that's good. They're smart.
And it's interesting. None of them match yours. So at least we didn't double up.
Nice.
Nope.
I'm intrigued to see.
I'm
if
excited
any of these...
actually to hear this.
My number 1 is True Grit.
Mm.
Like, I love the original. I love the remake. They did a really great job, and they brought this story back to new audiences, which is why I support it. I was like, when I first thought they're going to make a remake of that, it's like, you can't improve on John Wayne. You can't improve on the no. But the Coen brothers did an excellent job, and managed to make it darkly funny too. But and let's see, my second famous remake, or famous my second favorite remake, The Birdcage.
Okay.
I love Nathan Lane,
excellent.
Robin Williams.
I didn't know that was a remake. That might have actually gone on my list.
Just being themselves, really, just completely hamming it up and enjoying the role. It was great. And then Ocean's 11, like they did a great job on that, bringing that just great freaking robbery, dynamic to a new audience. It's like I like when I like when more stories or the remake is to bring it just to a new generation. Those are the kind of the things I see a pattern with the ones I really, really like. And it's like Scarface is the next one. It's like that was a really, really intense remake compared to the original gangster film, which is was your standard gangster film, but it's like Brian De Palma just the torture scenes, just the passion for every scene in that. It just oof. And then lastly, The Fly. It's like I love the original. It was a classic to me, and I love the remake, and I love everything with Jeff Goldblum in it. So
I got to cut in my little fly in the web. Help me!
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's iconic. It's iconic.
Wait in the house. There's a good boy for you.
Wow, it's a good list. It's a very good list. Yeah, I like that. Eric, you're up.
All righty. The most interesting thing about this is that my list actually has none of your movies on them from either of you.
Awesome.
What?
That is great.
What?
Woo!
Oh my lord!
And
let's hear it, man.
in no particular order, because I didn't have the wherewithal to rank these, honestly, because they're all different and they all hit differently to me.
Wait, do you not understand how the top 5 works?
Well, clearly not. You're.
I'm going to have to redo all the segment here. Thanks.
All right, fine. I'll just numerate these like on the fly then. All right.
No, The Fly was one of mine.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go with number 5, Casino Royale, with Daniel Craig.
That's a good choice.
Because the previous Casino Royale that I saw was that weird, drugged out. I don't even know how to describe it.
Wasn't that the one with David Niven?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That went everywhere but through the story. Like, there was not enough drugs to make me understand that movie. And I was too young when I saw it as well. The next on my list is 2012 Dredd with Carl Urban. I'm basically considering Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone a first try, and Dredd was the way to go on that.
Chef's kiss. Yeah.
Yes. Next is 1999 The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that counts. That counts. Definitely.
Yeah. Number 2 on my list is 1992 Daniel Day-Lewis, Last of the Mohicans. There were probably about a dozen different attempts to bring that story to film, and that one for me was just amazing. The cinematography
was a great film. I did not. I mean, I guess I should have known that was a remake, but I wouldn't even have thought of it like that. So,
what I consider the greatest remake, that I consider better than the original, 1986, Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis.
That almost made my list.
Steve Martin,
that almost made my list.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That was a good film. Very good film.
Steve
That's
Martin
a great list, dude. Yeah,
awesome at that.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of runner-ups, including The Fly, It, Stephen King's film, story It, but that was a made-for-TV movie. Godzilla, Planet of the Apes, the Rise of the Planet of the Apes that they recently did, 3:10 to Yuma, Batman Begins, basically rebooting the whole Batman series. Yeah. Also, The Wizard of Oz was one of those, maybe including on that. But most people don't.
A remake.
Yeah, most people don't consider most people have never seen the original on those.
True.
Could have done without that.
Were there any moments that you could have done without? Could have done without that? Was there anything in this film that you thought that didn't need to be in it? Rick, was there anything for you?
And the Thing? I wanted more of it, but for me, and it made the point, it was good for the movie, but it's like, I absolutely hated the scene where the dogs are getting killed. Ooh. It's like, you can hear them dying, and it just, it hits me in my freaking deep place if the dog gets hurt. It's like, I can watch, and it's like, maybe it says something about me, that I can watch whole-scale slaughter and gore all day long, people.
Yeah.
But you start hurting animals, especially dogs. And it's just like, I mean, and not to go off topic, but I was watching, I saw the Superman movie, and it's like, if he freaking hurts the dog, I swear, it's like, you need to put Lex through a freaking floor. It's like, but just all.
I was a little shocked at the poor crypto in that VR cage. That kind of tweaked me a little.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as some of the things they could have done to the dog. So I guess they probably
Yes.
went, okay, what can we do that's not so horrible that people are gonna have a visceral reaction to it? And I think they went with the one thing they're like, okay, this might not really upset people,
Mean, but not torturous.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, is it in Lex's character to torture the animal? Probably, but do you want to do that on film? Probably not. Yeah. So, Eric, was there anything you could have done without?
This one I actually had to ponder for a bit, and the only thing that I could probably have done without is the spider head. Just because that gave me nightmares.
It leads up to one of the best lines in the film.
Oh,
Fucking kidding.
one of the ones that makes the movie. It's like
It is an amazing scene, and it. I love how freaked out like people that are watching the movie for the first time. Like it's two scenes. All like I love watching reaction channels and the people that watch the thing for the first time. Those things the points that I always love seeing is the beginning of the movie when all the reactors just are watching the film and going, "Oh, what an adorable doggy! I hope nothing happens to it." And then the head scene where it peels off of the body and grows spider legs. And that always just but that's just nightmare fuel for me. And I'm not quite an arachnophobe, but that almost makes me one.
That'll make you one.
Yes.
There's a couple of points where like spider legs come out of the thing. So I think it's an amalgamation of all the different races and creatures throughout the universe, maybe that it has taken into itself, right? So you see these creatures come out, makes you wonder what was on these other planets. But yeah, it's creepy.
I've always figured it was just it's creating what it needs at that moment to survive, to get around, to escape. And pulling its eyes out of its skull to give it those eye stalks and the almost crab-like spider legs that came out of it, and then it just moving around, and the face is upside down, the mouth is just in this open a scream.
It made the point. If any piece of that thing survived, it's going to replicate and just become another monster.
Yeah.
And even a finger gets away, it's like it's done.
Yeah.
And it sort of makes you wonder, like, how effective were their methods in eliminating the beast, eliminating the thing? I mean, that's, I don't know how much they really managed to get rid of with just, guns and a flamethrower.
No, they're all dead.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, they're all dead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really dark film in that regard, because I mean, essentially, everybody's dead at the end of the film. The two guys are going to freeze to death. There's a question as to whether or not one of them is the thing, and I've heard a couple of takes on this. John Carpenter's never specifically said, but he gave a clue, and he said it's the breath. Because you can see Kurt Russell's breath, you can't see the other guy, and what's his name?
Childs.
Yeah. You can't see Child's breath. And he also disappeared at a crucial moment, right? When he was, I got lost in the snow out here, kind of flimsy. What do you guys think?
Well,
do you think that either one of them were the thing? I mean, it's not going to matter, but actually it kind of does, because if they're frozen and a rescue crew does come out, guess what? The thing survives.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of those bleak, there's the alien wins kind of endings. I've also heard the child's doesn't show warm breath. I've also heard this odd theory that all of the humans in every shot have reflections of light in their eyes, and the thing does not. And you don't see that in
I think I'd heard that
Child's
as well.
character at the end. And there's also the change in jacket color, because Child spends most of the film in a dark blue jacket, and then suddenly he shows up at the end in a light colored jacket.
Wasn't it just because he was outside wearing heavier gear?
No, it's a similar heavy jacket. It's just it wasn't the same jacket he had been wearing, and they had always said that it shreds your clothes when it takes you. So he would have had to grab it.
He had to put
There
new
you
clothes
go.
on.
That makes sense. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's like
Any thoughts on that?
the final statement that Carpenter said about the question of whether or not one of them was the alien and one of them wasn't, is that it doesn't matter because they're all dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see,
It's like the humans won.
He established though that if somebody came as a rescue and it was frozen, it could survive. So that defeats his statement there. He established that himself. Come on, John.
Oh man.
Unless they never thaw it. Yeah, unless they somehow never thaw the thing out. That's the only way that the humans come out, not losing completely.
Did you guys catch that? Did you catch that? There was no women in this film except for the voice on the computer, voiced by John Carpenter's wife at the time, Adrienne Barbeau from The Fog.
Oh.
Did you guys catch anything?
I did not know that. I did not know that factoid.
Did you guys catch anything that I didn't?
There's always been this mystery of who got to the blood, or how did they get to the blood, if everybody that they tested afterwards when they were tied in tested human that had access to the blood. And if you pay really, really stupid close attention, there is a sound of a set of keys being dropped on the floor a couple of scenes before that. That's the only
Wasn't that Fuchs?
I don't recall exactly, but from my understanding, there was always this sort of like weird puzzle that no one could, we as the audience never really got, hey, this is exactly what happened. Yeah. Who sabotaged the blood?
Yeah, I was kind of confused as to who sabotaged the blood as well, because I'm the only one who has the key. Sometimes I give it to him, but it doesn't leave either of our sight, and neither one of us did it, and neither one of them were infected. Which,
but it was
how did it happen?
shortly after
Somebody was lying.
Bennings gets taken. There is a close up, and then there's a sound effect of a set of keys being dropped.
Okay, so I will have to listen to that.
If you weren't paying the closest of attentions, it would have skipped you.
I didn't catch that.
It would have skipped you. Yeah,
Sneaky.
Excellent.
It's because I mean, I did audio editing for a couple of years, and so when I'm really listening in with like everything isolated out except the movie. Yeah, wow. It's just like, what was that sound? Was it
I'm
chains?
impressed, man.
No, it could have been keys.
I'm impressed. That's a good catch.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I think we've kind of talked this film to death at this point. It's starting to morph into something else.
Oh no.
You know what it is? It's time to get popping. Don't worry, Eric. I'm not going to make you dance.
Okay.
Killjoy. All right. So, why don't we start with our guest, Rick? How many pops would you give The Thing? 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing.
What's my scale?
1 to 5 pops. 1 being the lowest, 5 being the best.
No, 5. It's agreed that it's the best remake.
All right. Well, hey, that's
It
good.
hits every point to keep you up late at night when you watch it when you're 13.
Fair enough. Eric,
Hmm.
how many pops do you give the
I give it 4.5. I take away half just because it scared the bejesus out of me as a child.
That's
and
the
gave me
point.
nightmares. I didn't want to be scared as a
Should be
child.
5.5.
Eric,
If it-
should I point out that you're not 5 anymore?
Well,
I
but now he's
wasn't
afraid
even-
of spiders.
I wasn't even 5. I was like 14, and it still almost made me piss myself.
I mean, I would consider that making it better because it actually did what it was supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So
So,
I'd give it 6 if it made me wet the bed.
but yeah, we'll let you have your 4.5 pops. Don't worry about
All
it.
right.
I am going to mirror Rick here and say it's a 5 pop film. This is not only one of the best remakes of all time, I think it's actually one of the best horror sci-fi films of all time. I'm going to go there. And, you know, I'm not what you'd call a huge fan of horror. I like specific things, and most of the horror I like actually is John Carpenter stuff. This one in particular, though, it hit all the right notes. And I mean, we were talking about the isolation and the creature effects and the paranoia, and it did everything at the right time, and it didn't rely on stupid jump scares all the time. It's fantastic. 5 pops all the way around. So we could have had a trifecta, Eric. We could have.
It might traumatize some people, so I'm going to take away half a point for trauma.
I'm going to give it an extra point for that. Traumatize
right.
people, please.
Yours was the spider head. The one that made me jump and just go and give me the whole body shake was when they're trying to revive and the fucking
The hands.
chest just opens up and shakes his arms off. It's just like,
Yeah.
ah!
Yeah, you got to credit Rob Bottin for those special effects. I mean, they were unlike
Oh my God.
anything else at the time, and they were, they were amazing. You have to
Yes.
think too. At this time, one of the reasons that film probably didn't do so well is it opened up around the same time as another alien film, E.T. And everybody had the good touchy-feelies about aliens at that point, and here we come with an alien that chops
Everybody
your
wanted the nice
hands off.
alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Chopping the hands off was traumatizing, but I think almost equally traumatizing for me was when they were doing the tests and they revealed who the alien that was tied on the bench with them. It stood up and its head cracked open, and he used the two sides of its head to bite and lift windows off the ground. That was just like, oh my freaking God, what the ah.
yeah. Oh my God. There's
It's
a
like,
pun in there somewhere,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Oof.
It just, yeah.
Well, I think that kind of does it for us. But I mean, we've really hit all the good points of this film, and all of us enjoyed it. I imagine all of us would recommend this film as well. So
Definitely.
Rick, thanks for coming on, man. It's great having you come on, and I'd love to have you back again soon. I think we're having you back for Blazing Saddles, is it?
I didn't know. I would be happy to help
Well,
out.
consider yourself invited. We're doing a sound
Anytime,
table
it's
for that.
fun.
All right. And Eric, good job for your first time around as a co-host. All right. Well,
Glad to be here.
anything you want to say before we take off here?
It was great. It was great being back. I love being a part of the show. And once again, you can find me on Instagram at Eric_PoppedKernel and Eric_PoppedKernel5 on TikTok.
Excellent. And you can email us directly at popreview@gmail.com. We are on Patreon if you want to help support the show. And we have a website, which will show up at the very end of the credits. So I guess we're off. And we're leaving as well.